Shabbat Shalom, everybody. The prayer book that we are using, Mishkan Tefillah, underneath you or in front of you. And we begin tonight's service, Hinei Matov, 128, 128.
Hinei Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We turn to the top of page 124, 124, and please read with me even as we wear our mask. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Awareness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. And tonight is a very special Shabbat. It's our culmination of our wonderful program, Hillel Connections. It's students who go to school here in the state of Alabama who are doing internships specifically in Birmingham with the hopeful goal of our young people that they will have careers and live and prosper in the great city of Birmingham with strong Jewish identities, correct? That's what I thought. Okay, it's our great pleasure to welcome our first speaker, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, Haley Cooper. Hallie? There's a Haley. Hallie.
Shabbat Shalom. Okay. I didn't realize we were doing this individually. My name is Hallie Cooper, and I'm a student at Birmingham Southern College. This summer, I had the wonderful opportunity of interning at CJFS. where I got to conduct their satisfaction surveys. Basically, I got to spend the summer talking to people who are much wiser than me and making a lot of new friends. I also got to spend time with the social workers in the office, who all gave me amazing insight about their jobs. They gave me valuable lessons on how to conduct myself around clients of all ages and backgrounds. I also learned tips on how they do such an emotionally taxing job without sacrificing their own mental health. From the clients that I talked to, I learned how to live my life to the fullest, to appreciate every little thing and every person who impacts my life. I got lost. I am so grateful for Hillel Connections for connecting me to this opportunity and providing me a place to stay while I got to experience Birmingham to the fullest this summer. With my new friends I've made, I got to explore the city more than I've been able to throughout 3 years of attending school. I never would have gotten to explore so freely, well, as freely as possible while still being considerate of a pandemic, outside of a program like this. I finally got to go to the botanical gardens, a Barons game, explore downtown, and so much more. And I think I'm finally able to make my way around Mountain Brook. Roxanne has helped us connect to many professionals in the city and helped open our minds to all of the opportunities it holds. Thank you so much to Roxanne for all the time that she puts into this program and helping this summer be the best it can be. To the Honans for opening their home to me, and the rest of the Hillel Connections team for making this possible. Thank you to my family friends, David and Elaine, for their wonderful hospitality. Thank you to the Levite Jewish Community Center, Temple Emanu-El Birmingham Endowment Fund, the Birmingham Jewish Foundation, and all of the individual donors who made this summer possible for me and the other students of this program.
You can do that right now. We turn to page, what do we see this right? I'm going to turn to page 120 as we light our Shabbat candles.
מצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
For those who are able, we rise together for Kiddush, top of page 123, 1, 2, 3.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים קיוונו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה Shabbat. Amen.
Top of page 127, 127, and please join me. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, and day of peace. And it's our great pleasure to welcome Riva Kedaya. By proxy, Hallie will be reading for her.
So yes, this is on behalf of Riva Acadia. Hello, I'm so sorry I am unable to attend this evening, but I'm glad that Hallie can speak for me in my place. This summer, I had a healthcare administrative internship at Andrews Sports Medicine. I spent 6 weeks in the projects and process improvement and 6 weeks in marketing. At such a fast-paced, high-volume practice, I learned a whole new side of management. I had 2 incredible mentors at Andrews who took the time to explain all of the complex factors that went into their decision-making process. This summer, I also made many connections in the Birmingham health tech startup community. Thanks to Hillel Connections and You Belong in Birmingham events, I have met with lawyers, hospital administrators, venture capitalists, and startup organizers. In fact, thanks to the incredible network I made in Birmingham this summer, my company is seriously considering moving to Birmingham after graduation, and we are actively touring wet lab facilities. This summer, I enjoyed the JCC, cooking with Hallie, and exploring downtown. I want to end by saying thank you to the Levite Jewish Community Center, Temple Emanu-El Birmingham Endowment Fund, and the Birmingham Jewish Foundation, and the individual donors for underwriting the program. This program and summer would have not been possible without Roxanne's selfless devotion and time. I want to thank Roxanne, Mike, and Ben for welcoming me into their home, Steve Royal, Mark Cohen, and Fran Godshaw for making priceless professional introductions, and Fran and Lee, David and Elaine, and Meredith Weintraub for their warmth. Thanks, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.
We continue welcoming Shabbat on page 138 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבורך תשמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לחנדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לחנדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשם בתחילה לחנדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לחנדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי
כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה, לחמדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לחמדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We rise together to greet Shabbat HaMalkah.
בואי ושלום עטרת מעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלת מוח אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה לחמדוני לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לחמדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
The bottom of page 145, 145. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, how to ripen fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before. Let's routine set my ways. We continue with our Chetzi Kaddish 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא תברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחי בכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לעילה מן כל ביחדה בשירתה. תוש בחטא ונחמתה תמירן בעלמם ואמרו Amen.
For those who are able, we rise together and we turn to pages 146, 147.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
There is one who sings the song of his own life, and please join me at the top of page 147. Finding everything within himself, there is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless.
Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. da dai dai dai.
The top of page 149, and please join me once more. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way in which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. And it's our great pleasure to welcome Will Kinsella. Did I get that right? Finally.
Good evening, everyone. My time with the Hallel Connections program was very wonderful. I loved spending time in Birmingham, and it was a great opportunity to meet and connect with young Jewish people. I worked at the Kasuf accounting firm as an intern with the audit and assurance team. The experience was fantastic. Everyone I worked with was very nice and accommodating. I learned a great deal about public accounting and got very much experience that I know will benefit me in future endeavors. I greatly appreciated the opportunity I was given and the Hallel Connections program. Our educational programs were useful and interesting, and I enjoyed having weekly dinners and spending time with the other interns participating in the program. I didn't fully live in Birmingham over the summer. I had another job in Tuscaloosa that I was working for other days in the week, but the time that I was able to spend in Birmingham was very pleasurable. It made me appreciate the city and all it has to offer, and if I ever find myself back here after school, I know that there's a fantastic and loving community waiting here for me. Thanks to the Levite Jewish Community Center, Temple Emanu-El Birmingham Endowment Fund, the Birmingham Jewish Foundation, and the individual donors who helped make this program as great as it is. And thanks especially to Roxanne, Mike, and Ben for having me in their house and being so accommodating to all of the interns. It was a really great experience.
We turn to page 150, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach mechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ub'mitzvotecha leolam ba'ed ki heim chayenu be'orech yameinu ubahem nehegeh yomam balayla ve'ahavattecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Ba'ed לפניך, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי ידכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Top of page 157, 157, and please join me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. If there's a better place, a promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We turn to our Michamocha, our song of freedom and redemption, 158.
כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד.
We welcome Carly Nadler to the Bima.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Carly Nadler. I am an incoming senior at Alabama studying marketing, public relations, and Spanish. I spent this summer as a marketing intern for the JCC. Some of the many things I had the opportunity to experience at the JCC is running and planning the social media pages, creating graphic designs with different businesses around Birmingham, communicating with different businesses, creating graphic designs for different events and announcements, and communicating with different businesses around Birmingham. Working with a former board member to build a weight loss program, as well as fundraising and event planning. I'm really grateful for this program for connecting me with so many people here, because even though I'm from Birmingham, my parents moving to Atlanta have made it feel a lot less like home here. Since this was my first internship, I'm really grateful that Hillel Connections was here to help guide me through the first steps of working in the real world. I am also grateful for all of the programs that let me explore places in Birmingham that I've never been before, as well as the programs that taught us a lot of valuable information about finances, insurance, and investing. After this experience, I now feel more prepared than ever before to enter the real world. I would like to thank the Levitt Jewish Community Center, the Temple Emanu-El Endowment Fund, the Birmingham Jewish Foundation, and all of the individual donors who underwrote this program. I also would like to thank Amy Johnson for my great experience working at the JCC, and Roxanne for putting together this program and being a great mentor. Thank you for an amazing summer.
I gotta say to our interns, we would have printed out your Devar Torahs. I want you to know that. It's a millennial thing. They use their phones. Okay. Joke didn't work in honor of Jackie Mason. Okay. Top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. We continue with Chashkivenu 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Mehamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Mehamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Mehamidenu shomreinu
Top of page 163. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We continue with Vishamru on 162.
Beshameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Israel, oti leolam leolam, ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, ubayom hashmi Shabbat Ma'inafash.
We welcome Andrew Post.
just pulling up my speech real quick. Hello, my name is Andrew Pose, and I'm a rising junior studying political science at the University of Alabama. This summer, I interned at the Levitt Jewish Community Center, and I learned many things from the experience. I helped procure donations and discounts for weekly events at the J, wrote and edited various articles for their weekly newsletter, interviewed several staff members and transcribed those interviews for eventual social media features, and did some writing and researching for a grant that the JC is applying for. In addition to this, I also helped out at Thursday Family Fun Nights, swim meets, and dive meets. Apart from acquiring these new skills and experiences, this internship has been very valuable for me as a way to expose myself to a full-time work environment. I had never worked full-time before this internship, so learning how to manage my time both in and out of work is something that I'm very fortunate to have learned. Aside from the internship, I have participated in a multitude of activities around the Birmingham area that have really helped me acquaint myself with the Magic City, such as attending Barons games, eating at a variety of restaurants in the area, going to Back 40 for Young You Belong in Birmingham events, and visiting the 16th Street Baptist Church. These excursions were all good experiences for me, and I now have a better understanding of what the hotspots are in Birmingham, which is beneficial for a young person like me. I have also made new connections in a variety of ways, such as through the Hillel Connections program, the aforementioned YBIV events, and even playing basketball at the JCC. Because of this, I'll be able to call up a lot of people in the area to hang out with if I were to live here, and that is extremely important to me. Birmingham is not a city where I know nobody anymore. Instead, it's a place where I have solid friends and connections. I would like to thank everyone who made this experience a reality for me. To the Levitt Jewish Community Center, the Temple Emanu-El Birmingham Endowment Fund, the Birmingham Jewish Foundation, and the individual donors who have helped support the program. Thank you for allowing me to have such an impactful and meaningful experience this summer. Finally, thank you to Roxanne and her family for your continuous support of me. Your efforts are truly incredible, and they've allowed me to have a wonderful experience in Birmingham.
Page 165. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. For those who are able, we rise together for our tefillah 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים צומח נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך להצמיח ישועה, ונאמנת להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Top of page 173, 173 at the top, and please join me. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all despair find purpose. May all hunger find fulfillment on this day. May this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai B'Kadesh Shabbat. We turn to the next page for Ritzeh.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel tehi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael amecha el karov lechol kore'av penei elav hadecha bechonenu shefocheru chacha betechezena einenu beshuvcha letzion pirachamim. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato Letzion.
179, and please join me. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. Make contempt reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Blend virtue in every soul. May the love of thy name hallow every home and every heart. Praise you, eternal one, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Metov Beinecha Levarech et Amcha Yisrael Bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We take a few moments for silent prayer.
Yihul ratzon imrei fi Yihul ratzon imrei fi Behagion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri vegoali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu, me'al kol Yisrael, me'imeru, me'imeru,
At this moment in our service, we take time to think of those in our community, those especially who are in need of healing of body or spirit. On the Shabbat, we think of Linda Applebaum, Cindy Silberman Bailey, Sophia Berry, Ronald Beasley, Callie Bond, Harold Seitling, Deborah Chargois, Karen Edwards, and Ruth Grafman Fromstein, Edward Goldberg, Barbara Goldstone, Elaine Gross, Josie Hatfield, Evelyn Held, Lyons Hyman, Donald and Maida Himmel, Norma Jill Jacobson, Corey Kessler, Laney Klein, Bart Kolber, Jerry Lapidus, Jeff Muss, Susie Ovson, David Siegel, Liz Slive, Chrissy St. Charles, Brenda Weinstein, Jesse Weisberg, and Elisa Rosemore Whitehead. If you are thinking of a loved one, a friend, someone who means so much to you, is it of healing of body and spirit, we invite you to share that name out loud as my eyes meet yours. For those names mentioned out loud and for those names that are still in our hearts, our Mishaberach, our prayer for healing, middle of page 371.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheperach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We welcome William Russell.
Will Russell couldn't be here tonight, so I'll be delivering a speech for him. During my time in Hillel Connections, I've had many exciting opportunities to connect with fellow young members of the Jewish community. Some new friends, some old friends, some staying in Birmingham, some commuting. It's been a very valuable experience having the opportunity to get in touch with our Jewish heritage through making friends with Jews our age, conducting mitzvahs, as well as learning important information together through the program. Some of the most fun I've had was just going out to eat with everyone else in Hillel Connections. Getting to socialize with fellow Jews is an experience that I seldom get to have, so it was very refreshing. I especially enjoyed how casual the events felt, whether it's trying strange pizzas at Pies and Pints or enjoying a lighthearted meal at someone's home. But it wasn't just socializing. I was also able to perform mitzvahs, such as packaging meals for those who are less fortunate. It's experiences like these that make one realize the values of giving back and getting in touch with their religion. Lastly, and the most valuable to me, were the opportunities that we were given to learn information beneficial to our lives. I thoroughly enjoyed the insurance program we were given at the Steinmetz's residence, providing me with a lifelong grasp on how to go about acquiring insurance, as well as what kind of insurance would be most crucial to me. What I appreciated the most about this was that this is something that I haven't been taught in school, yet it's something so impactful in our lives. Overall, my time spent in Hillel Connections has been very exciting, meaningful, educational, and impactful. I've made great connections and had a fantastic time doing so, and I'm very excited to see where the program leads me. I'm very grateful for having the opportunity to join the program, and I'm also grateful for those who helped make it happen. I'd like to thank the Levite Jewish Community Center, Temple Emanu-El Birmingham Endowment Fund, the Birmingham Jewish Foundation, and the donors who have underwritten the program. With this, I'd also like to thank everyone involved, such as the Bloomstons and the Steinmetzes, and although I can't be here this evening to say it in person, I'd especially like to thank Roxanne for running the program. She truly made Hillel Connections to be the impactful program that it has become.
And finally, the one who made this all happen, Dr. Roxanne Trebleduth.
Thank you, Rabbi. Actually, I'm up here primarily, and I had forgotten, but I asked specifically to dispel that myth that I made it happen, because Behind me is a marvelous committee of people that all contribute. And this doesn't happen overnight. This actually starts, in fact, we'll start in August at the Welcome Back Barbecue down at school. And we will start to recruit students for next summer. So my committee has many people spread over all industries, because when we meet kids that have an aerospace engineering major, I have to find a job for that student here in Birmingham. So I need a committee that's very broad and has great connections with our Birmingham community. So specifically tonight, I wanted to, in addition to thanking our underwriters, which the students, I have pounded it in their head to who to thank, because they know that they don't come here and live and eat and enjoy the time in Birmingham without having financial backing. And so really, for the past 4 years, I have been so thankful to the Birmingham Jewish Foundation and Temple Emanu-El. They have really been the backbone of our ability to provide this program. And every year I knock on the door, and it gets harder, but they have been loyal, and I pray that they continue. The Levite Jewish Community Center gives our students free access for the whole summer. And this year, more than any other, our interns are really involved in fitness and wanting to work out and stay in shape, in addition to enjoying the pool. So the JCC has been a great perk. Personally, I want to thank David Reese, Rochelle and Mike Coslin, and David and Randy Landy for their personal donations that they have made to our program. My committee that I talked about, I just want to mention who's on that committee, because these people do everything from taking our kids out to dinner to having a workshop for them. A lot of our young professionals that are on our committee ran a workshop to teach the kids what to put on their resume, what maybe to leave off, what if your GPA is kind of marginal, should I include that, should I not? What if I don't have any experience, and they also taught them interview skills and what to take with you. Don't show up with one copy of your resume, take 6 copies, because you don't know who you're going to interview with, and you might have a whole committee of people that forgot to print off your resume. I learned things during that workshop that I didn't know. So my committee members are Joe Bloomston, Mark Cohen, Danny Cohn, Cheryl Collat, Rachel Friedman and Nate Lawson, Deborah Goldstein, Alex Grodner, our newlyweds, who are Risa Hyatt and Cameron Bauman from Atlanta, Leslie Hines from Tuscaloosa, Rachel Honan and Parker Jacobs, Linda Lucas, Camille Mendel, Daniel Odrezin, Paula Quarles from Tuscaloosa, Steve Royal, Sarah Weinberger from the BJF, and Debbie Wytrek. And then there are a few very special people to me who I consider my worker bees and my sounding board. They help me through all major decisions, in addition to having a lot of fun doing it, and that's Fran Godshaw, Stephanie Steinmetz, and Meredith Weintraub. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Star Bloom, Lisa Besnoy, and my husband Mike Honan, who are all on the board at Temple at Hillel down at Alabama. They give me wisdom and guidance, and I could not do what I do without their input. Excuse me. This summer, as the students told you, we added programming for the students to learn about insurance and about investing, because even though they're in their young 20s, it's something that if it's on their radar, I think it's an important thing for them to think about, and to go ahead and think about 401ks and all that. I wanted to thank Mark Mustafer, who talked with them about insurance, and Frank Siegel, who talked about investment. Danny Cohn met with them this week about what Birmingham has to offer being a young Jew. And my goal is that from living here together with other young Jews and getting a professional experience, that they realize that wherever they land, whether it's Birmingham or not, that they reach out to the Jewish community wherever they live, and that they get involved. And they look for other young people to network with, because by networking, as some of the speeches said, it opens up your whole world, professionally, socially, and that's something that a young student sometimes doesn't realize. In addition, I had 6 couples that really went above and beyond the duty this summer. They were what we call our family friends, Jim and Louise Abrams, Mark and Lynn Cohen, Susan and Barry Koretsky, Michael and Rochelle Coslin, Glenda and Paul Nagrotsky, Elaine May and David Reese, and Kit and Rick Roth. They were our connections in the community, so that when our students come back here, or if these couples go to Tuscaloosa or to here in Birmingham, wherever the student goes to school, that they will feel like they have a friend here in our community that they can always reach out to. They spent time with the students, polishing them for their jobs, helping them navigate maybe if there was a conflict at work, or how do I deal with this. And so their wisdom and their friendship to our students is much appreciated. A couple people behind the scenes, Dr. Brandon Brown at Birmingham Southern, who was my liaison in their housing arrangements. The students, I really want to say, you guys are fabulous. You're bright, you're young, you're energetic, and everyone who touches you feels the impact that you make and that you're going to make wherever you land. And I hope that my desire is that when you return to school, that you share information about this program to other students, and that you also sell our program, because we need your help to make this happen next year for other students. And I also want to thank my family, who's always supportive and allow me to open up our home, and they are the best. Last of all, I just want to thank our entire Birmingham Jewish community. My job is easy, because I know once I get students here, the Birmingham Jewish community sells itself. The warmth, the friendship, the hospitality, you guys exemplify what community really means. And so many of our students leave here and they say, I had no idea there was this wonderful Jewish community here. They see the participation that each one of our Jewish members contribute to our community, and you guys are the best role models for our students. And more they tell me that they want to connect with the Jewish community wherever they land. And for all of us, that's why I do this program. Definitely I want them to come to Birmingham, but I know that that's not realistic for all of them to come. I'll be happy with a strong showing, but wherever they land, if they are young, active Jews, then we've succeeded in our mission. Last but not least, anyone connected with a nonprofit realizes that our job is hard, especially going forward. And so if you are someone who has some extra cash that you want to contribute to this wonderful program after hearing from the students, or if you have need a tax deduction, you can donate stock, you can distribute money from your 401k distribution to either the Birmingham Jewish Foundation or UA Hillel. Both of those are tax deductible, and you can specify that you'd like the money to go to Hillel Connections. So thanks for letting me talk. I know I overstayed my welcome, but I wanted to make sure that I thanked everyone who makes my job easy. Thanks.
We turn to page 586 and we rise together for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ היום ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
The top of page 595. It's hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone. Naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words as what they did as part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. And affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Lydia Emel, Harold Apolinsky, Morris Belitsky, Robert B. Berman, Jean Esther Bernstein, Joan Bame Black, Clara Blank, Erwin Chico Bombshell, Helene Bressler, Julius Cohen, Melvin F. Cohen, Maxine Ofson Cohn, Malvern B. Cooper, Bess S. Bame Cotton, Lillian Estrak, David Feinfeld, Grace Clafter Finkel, Francis Friedman, Vernon W. Gibson, Alan D. Golden, Gus Goldstein, Carrie Broda Goodman, Ilya Gross, Cheryl Hannon, Julius Herman, Rabbi Bernard Honan, Alberto Israel, Julius Jaffe, Miriam Cardis, Jack Samuel Kaufman, Robert Lapidus, Samuel S. Levine, Anita Lichter, Sidney Light, Herman Lowe, A.R. Buddy Mazer, Arlene Colber-Meek, Harry Clark Rosendorf, Carrie Rothholtz, Helen Newman Routman, Abraham Silver, Ralph Richard Silver Sr., Joan Aaron Sokol, B. Varon, Lily Lyons Wheel, Cindy Weinstein, Edith Wasowski, and J. M. Ziff. And our heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Annette Applebaum Boehm, aunt of Kit Roth, Dr. Gary H. Cohen, Leonard Fred Halpern, husband of Anne, and Becky Seitel, wife of Alan. We rise together as a united congregation for a Martyr's Kaddish on page 598. Yikadal v'ikadash shemei rabbah, v'yomad divrach rotei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayet kol Beit Yisrael, bagalah u'izman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach li'olam olamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vita dar, vita lev, vita lal, shemei kudsha, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damin ram v'yoma v'yimru,
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. O say shalom b'imromav, huya say shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yimru amen.
O se shalom b'imromav, huya se shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, me'imeru, amen.
We conclude our Shabbat service with Adon Olam 625.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa b'chefetzo kol hazai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yeh b'tifara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshir lo lehachmira b'li reshit b'li tachlit v'lo ha'oz ve'hamizra ve'hu eli ve'chai go'ali ve'tzur chavli be'et tzara ve'hu nisi u'manos li menat kosi be'yom ekra be'yado afkid ruchi be'et ishan be'aira be'iruchi gebiati Adonai li belo ira.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbos.